Now, last time I made a video on hair loss and I spoke about what exactly I did to stop my hair loss and what has really worked for me. Now, today I'm going to talk about more on just that. Because come on, as we're getting older and we cross our 30 and suddenly you start seeing a lot of hair loss and you're wondering as to wait, where is this hair loss coming from and why is it happening? And sometimes you just think to yourself that, wait, I think I just might have to get a hair transplant. And I know that when you go online, because I also have gone online and try to figure out what are the different ways I can stop this hair loss or maybe regrow my hair. And then you see these tons of products that just come right in front of you claiming that it will help you grow your hair. But most of them are honestly quite a scam, because even I've tried a lot of the products that have minoxidil in them and it claims that it will help you regrow your hair. Of course, it does work in some people, but for someone like me, it actually worsened my condition. So in today's video, I'm going to help you with things that I personally have experimented on myself and it has helped me stop my hair loss, and also the things that most of these companies that are marketing to you all these products out there are not telling you. And not just that, you can also try it for yourself and I'm sure somewhere it will make the difference and it might help you. So let's get started and let's get straight into it. Now, there are many reasons that you can lose your hair, from stress to genetics to overusing a lot of these shampoos and a lot of the styling products. So there are literally tons of reasons that you can lose your hair. So I'm not going to get majorly into that. I'm just going to straight get into the things that will make a difference for you and you will see the results over time. So when I started losing my hair, I started to wonder as to, wait, why am I losing my hair at such a young age? And I felt that something is not right and needs to be fixed. So literally just like everybody else, I did the same. I went online and I tried to figure out what is it that could help me when it comes to stopping this whole hair loss. And of course, the common things popped up where it said that maybe it could just be your stress or your genetics or something on those lines. But somewhere I felt maybe there's more to it. So other than just researching, I also thought that let me just experiment a lot of things on myself, and some of them actually work. So when it comes to hair loss, the very first thing that you and I think about is that there might be something that we need to do on the topical end, which is either we need to apply a cream or we need to apply something that will help that hair loss from happening. But I realized that a lot of it is not external but actually internal, and this is the part that most of us really ignore, because I myself ignored it, but it did make quite a difference. So a few things I changed a lot, which starts with firstly the way I ate. One thing that I made sure that I really do in most of my meals is that I started incorporating a lot of highly nutritional dense foods. So every time I ate any kind of meal, I always made sure that I had a bowl just that's filled with a good amount of vegetables. So it could be your leafy greens, your cucumber, your bell peppers, or anything that could make it look like a nice, colorful, and a beautiful salad. So I would change the combination of the salad here and there so that I don't feel like every time I'm eating the same boring salad. Now I know you're like, oh my god, he's back to this salad. I know, and like many of you, I myself am not really fond of salads, but sometimes the answers that we are looking for are in the things that we are avoiding. With that, I would also make sure that I eat a lot of seasonal fruits and also a lot of vitamin C rich fruits. Sometimes to those fruits, I would just add mixed seeds. So they would have like a pumpkin, a chia seeds, flax seeds, and even sometimes sunflower seeds. So what I would do is I would just make a mix and I would keep them in a jar and I would just sprinkle them over my fruits. This combination of fruits and seeds are something that took a little while to get used to, but kind of like it now. Plus, after giving my body some nutritional dense foods, after a while, I started seeing a lot of my hair loss just stop. And that is where the first difference was when I observed. So make sure that you have foods that give you a lot of nutrients. If you're someone who really loves Indian food also in general, just make sure that you're not cooking a lot of those vegetables, because the more you cook the vegetables, the more it loses its nutritional value. So try and keep your cooking as low as possible, where you're not really heating up the vegetables so it loses all the nutritional value that it has. Now, the next thing that made a very drastic difference was the moment I started cutting down sugar. So we all know that sugar is something that is associated with obesity, it's associated with weight gain, and even with diabetes. But most of us don't really associate sugar when it comes to your hair loss. Now, I used to suffer from a lot of itchiness and inflammation, and that irritation where you constantly want to keep itching or scratching your head. The moment I reduced sugar drastically, I noticed that inflammation completely almost went away. I wouldn't say it's gone completely, but I would say at least an 80% of drop when it comes to the itchiness, when it comes to you wanting to scratch, or when it comes to that flakiness. Now, when you eat a lot of sugar, what happens is that your insulin levels skyrocket. And the moment that happens, it disrupts a lot of your hormonal balance, and it also elevates the androgens, which affect your hair follicles. And this in turn causes a lot of hair loss. Plus, the thing is, when you eat a lot of sugar, it interferes with the absorption of very important nutrients like zinc, biotin, and even protein, which are very important when it comes to having healthy hair. And there I was thinking that, well, I think it's just an age related thing. And trust me, the moment I stopped sugar was one thing that I realized, that I saw a lot of that inflammation come out. I saw a lot of that itchiness stop, and also a lot of my hair fall just reduce. And just in case you feel like, okay, but I want to have something sweet because I have a lot of these sweet cravings, and few things that are really good are jump in for your fruits. Don't go for your fruit juice. The moment you denature a lot of these fruits and go into fruit juices, again, it comes back to going into sugar because they lose their fiber content. Maybe like a pineapple or an apple or any of your berries, because in the end, they have a lot of fiber, so it slows down a lot of the sugar that your body requires, and plus nature has packaged them very well. But in case you feel like you want to drink something sweet, avoid also all those energy drinks because they are just filled with a lot of caffeine and a lot of sugar. In fact, go for something like a coconut water, and that's something that I always go for. So if I really feel like I'm thirsty and I want to have something sweet, I'll always go for a coconut water because coconut water also has a low glycemic index. So somewhere that sugar also in the coconut water is released very slowly in the blood, and it is much better than all your aerated and all the packaged fruit juices. So just try and avoid all of them. And it is literally one of the best energy drinks out there. Now, the next thing that really helped me level up the process is fasting and detoxing. Now, this was quite difficult at the start, but I realized it's actually very important because a lot of the foods that I was giving my body was not really very nutritionally dense, and it was building up a lot of toxins, especially if you eat a lot of processed food or you like a lot of that fast food that's available quite easily. And the thing is that when you have a lot of toxic buildup, they block a lot of your nutrients that are trying to reach those hair follicles. So when you fast, your body starts taking those toxins and starts throwing them out of the body. So it does pretty much like a self-cleanup process. And if you're just wondering as to, wait, how does fasting clean up those toxins? Well, I'll just explain to you in a very simple example. Okay, let's say you have a party at home and there are a lot of these guests flowing in. Now, when there are a lot of guests in your party, of course, there is going to be things that are going to be messed up, where there might be a lot of these glasses kept over, there might be a little food fallen here and there. But at that point, would you clean your house? Of course not. You will wait for those guests to leave your house completely, and once every guest has gone or left the party, that's when you start cleaning up your house. But you won't clean it while they are there. And the same goes with your body. So when you keep giving your body food, as long as food keeps coming in, your cells can't do a cleanup by themselves. And that is a term called autophagy. So when you stop giving your body food, your cells don't really have any food coming in. So that's where they do a self-cleanup process, which is autophagy. So at that point of time, they repair themselves and they remove all those toxin buildup that is there within the cell. So they eliminate all of that during this process. So what I did was I did something very simple. So instead of eating those massive meals or eating like 6 times a day, what I used to much before, I just eat lesser meals and I make sure that I portion control. So I just made sure that I eat max 3 meals a day with no snacking. I would keep a gap between my breakfast and my lunch of at least 5 to 6 hours. And I also made sure that whatever I would eat, I would just eat during the day when the sun is out. And then all I did was I just tried and repeated this process. So I just made sure that I had 3 meals, no snacking in between, and just in case I skip a meal and I have one directly at lunch, and I would have maybe fruit bowl somewhere in between after a few hours. But I would try to keep my fasting hours really long, and I would try to just stick to 3 meals. And those 3 meals are literally my nutrient dense meals. And even with that, I would also do a little bit of a detox. Now, the thing is with detox is that nothing can detox your body because your body is already equipped with your liver, your lungs, and your kidneys, which are an inbuilt system of detoxing every toxin in your body. But sometimes what happens is that because we eat so much of crap and this junk food and foods that just have no nutritional value, what happens is that these machines don't really function too well, and somehow they are not very efficient. So let's say there is a pump and there is something not making this pump function efficiently. It could be that something is stuck in it. The moment you unclog what is stuck in that pump, your pump starts functioning efficiently back again. And it's the same when it comes to your detoxing systems. Many a times you put in things which are making those detoxing systems not really work efficiently, so they can't really eliminate those toxins properly. So when you have things that are considered as your juice cleanses or your detox teas, most of them just help these machines unclog and function back again more efficiently. So sometimes I would try just a chamomile tea, or sometimes I would try a hibiscus tea. Also, I made sure that I avoid avoided all the milk teas and coffees and all the commercial coffees that are out there, which is your Starbucks, your Tim Hortons, or anything that is commercial. And this honestly really helped me calm my entire system down. Now let's talk about topical use. And that is simply what I was doing. I would just apply a mix of coconut oil, neem oil, and even flaxseed oil to just make a nice mixture of it, and I would apply it on my hair 15 minutes before I took a shower. Of course, there are many other herbal oils which are also known to help according to Ayurveda, like your Bringraj oil, which is something that I haven't really tried, but I've heard that it's a great herbal oil for your scalp. And just like the previous video, if you see study-wise, coconut oil has the most study when it comes to protecting your hair. So coconut oil is something that you can really rely on. And even sometimes you might feel that, okay, wait, I have an oily scalp, so should I even put oil? The thing is that even I have an oily scalp, and when you put any kind of herbal oil, it doesn't make your scalp more oily as long as you don't overdo it. And these oils balance out the excess oil production that naturally comes out from your scalp, and they also have a cooling effect and a lot of microbial properties. Plus, they remove a lot of your toxins that exist on the scalp, maybe through pollution or anything external. So just 15 minutes before your shower, just apply oil, just keep it for some time, and then you can just go and wash it off. And again, when it comes to the shampoo, I make sure that I try and use a more natural based shampoo with not too many chemicals that are there in it. And initially I used to wash my hair every day, but with time, because I started following this routine, the itchiness got much lesser. So now I end up washing my hair after at least around 3 days. And also I try to use less chemicals overall on my hair when it comes to your gel or your wax or any styling products. And with this kind of topical use, the other thing that I do is I also make sure that I try and meditate at least for 15 to 20 minutes a day, because that somehow just helps you keep your stress levels low. And at any point, if your stress levels are just skyrocketing, you just need to close your eyes. You don't need to do something fancy. What I used to do was I used to just sit, close my eyes, and just breathe in and out and just focus on my breath just for those 15 minutes. And trust me, it helps a lot. And when you just do this, your body automatically relaxes, and also mentally, your stress levels, you automatically see them going low. Because at the end, when you do something as simple as this, it balances and regulates your hormones. And one more thing that I really did was to stand in the sun. So whether it is your early morning sun, which is around 6 to 8 depending on where you are at, but just make sure that where the sun is not intense, you just stand exposing your skin to the sun, because a lot of vitamin D is where you're going to get from the sun, which also helps you with your hair. So if you cannot get the early morning sun, go for the evening sun. Sometimes I used to do that just in case I don't wake up. So doing that as well indirectly also helps when it comes to your hair and the strengthening of your hair. So this is pretty much what I did. To be very honest, 80% of what I did was mostly internal, because that is something that you can control. A lot of things on the outside you cannot control when it comes to the environment, it comes to the pollution. Some things you really cannot control, but what you can control is what you eat. So give yourself some really good nourishment and you will see the results come through, but it will surely take a bit of time. I know in today's world we want everything quick and easy, but your body doesn't really work like that. So do give yourself time, be patient with yourself, because this damage just doesn't happen overnight, it happens over years. So to fix it, don't expect it to happen overnight. And even when it came to me, the results didn't show immediately, it showed pretty much after a month and a half. But that is also because I was regularly and consistently trying and experimenting things on myself. And also the thing is that if your systems are not really functioning properly, there is not much that you can do on the outside that will change a lot of those dynamics. So give yourself time, because you cannot look at it only as a topical approach. You have to look at it as a multi-dimensional approach. And honestly, there is nothing to lose. I mean, you're losing your hair, but nothing beyond that to lose. And all of these methods are pretty natural with close to no side effects. So nourish your scalp, nourish your body, address all your lifestyle habits, and remember to be kind to yourself and you will see the results. And if you like what you saw, please do watch any other video. And until we meet again next, don't stress and be awesome. Rocher that.